at the White House, and we're the ones that like keep really, really, really shitty stuff from happening.
Oh, is that the op-ed thing that we were going to
Yeah.
talk about? Oh, yeah, dude. And did you
Seriously.
read Slate's theory on who they think that is?
No.
This is a perfect way to tease the YouTube stream starting, because
Yeah.
we're testing the YouTube stream. Oh, I'm supposed to
Yep.
be making sure the audio is good on it. But yeah, that's the kind of fun stuff we're going to talk about today in between burps.
Primal screams.
Yeah, got to primal scream your burps, you guys. Oh, man. You notice I moved the mic further away to make that sound. But I wanted to make the sound. I didn't have the self-control to not make the sound. Just the self-control to move the mic away for it. And just like 4 minutes, we'll be doing the actual show. Oh, clearly. Oh, man. You notice
yeah.
I moved the mic further
I heard it.
Yeah, I changed the cable again to a different cable, then hooked to another different cable. So that we should have even that little bit of hum that was on the last episode should be gone. And then have this broadcasting a little quieter for that action too. This guy, I need to kill the old audio that was probably playing. All right, everybody. Okay, that test is successful. Volume time. All right. Hey, YouTube, thanks so much for your patience while we get set up. Get right. No.
You know better than to call me
That's how I used to feel. I used to get so upset.
during my show.
How do you know I'm not doing a show right now? Why are you calling me?
No more wire hangers.
Wait for it. Wait for it. Oh, let me help you out with that, because this one is the one for you. Yep. Looks like you got an extender.
Pacha.
Oh man, rotate though.
Oh, that again.
Not so bad. I literally reinstalled the Facebook app.
Oh, really?
But that's because it was stuck in this loop of trying to re-upload the last video.
Hmm.
And it used all my mobile data, so I have to
Oh, what the
rebuy a
fuck?
month of mobile data now.
Oh, that sucks.
But I think it was more so because I left Wi-Fi off after using it at someone's house where their Wi-Fi wasn't working, so
Oh, gotcha.
it wasn't just that instance. I think I broadcast the whole show on mobile data by mistake, unless it really did it. And that also makes it crash easier too. So next week, we've got to do something special for the season premiere. Or
Oh,
no,
yeah.
something special for season finale.
Yeah,
Kinda
yeah, yeah.
special, and then the week after, more special.
Get like cheese head filters. So like it just looks like our heads are cheese.
Cheese head filters?
Yeah. So it just looks like we're talking cheese.
Cheese head filters. Dude, that's not a bad idea.
It's not a great idea, but it's not a bad idea.
Cheese head filters.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. This monitor is off. Oh, I bet you the power just got bumped when we were messing with headphones. Yeah. No big deal.
Oh, do you have the tablet?
Oh, I spaced on the tablet.
That's all right.
You can pull up news on, I guess I'll have it off to the side here.
Yeah.
I'll try to provoke you with the news items. And at least we got to kind of go over them a little bit earlier, like
Yeah.
professionals.
Right.
And we're going to brag about our workflow right now. Alright, so that's the live YouTube. This is like mostly me vision, sorry. But you look good down in there, little fella. Here we go. This guy. Okay, so 5 o'clock, perfect time to start the show.
Yeah.
We got to do that thing where I make sure that we're broadcasting not to... What was that city that we were just broadcasting in? Just that one city?
Philadelphia.
Yeah, hey, Philadelphia. Not today. You have to join the world stream.
Sorry.
That sounds so pretentious. Hey, can anyone tell this is a darker orange? Because my buddy Chris gave me another one of these so I could fight them because they're like cheap now. And this one's like a darker orange. Fun fact for the inner circle.
It does look slightly darker.
All right. That one is streaming. Then next we stream this one. Then our things are streaming. And then we have a show. That's right. Uh-huh. You got the real one, baby. You got the right one, baby? you got the real one, baby.
You got the real white, right?
It's the next generation. And refreshment. Oh, you know what that sound is? That's that collusion sound. But hey.
That's super.
Don't think you're going to have to fast forward through a bunch of politics. Because we've only got the juiciest political fun things to tumble around in today. It's not going to be I feel like we're going to calibrate it to your needs. And to facilitate this calibration, you can comment not only in the YouTube live stream, but also in the Facebook one. I actually meant to say that in the opposite order because I really want to drag y'all over to the YouTube one more. Sorry, Facebook. Facebook's problem with their stream last week, was really my problem with hooking the battery to my phone so my phone wouldn't go to sleep. But we're using a full-on actual computer for the YouTube stream, like the professionals that we are.
Things, yeah.
And we had that on YouTube too, so you can YouTube us there. There is the Facebook stream, just double checking the audio on old Facebook here. And what's the first thing that you wanted to dance around on today, sir?
I don't know what kind of... Oh, yeah. The Nike boycott. All right, so, everyone, this whole, Colin Kaepernick thing, he, first he started sitting on the bench, because he's protesting police brutality in America, which, I don't know if it's an issue statistically, but it feels like an issue, and I don't know if that's because, those incidents are broadcast on the news, and that's all we see. There's many more times interactions with police that are non-incidents. It's not even worth talking about, of course.
Yeah,
But,
we're not saying every police incident is violence, but there's way disproportionate law enforcement violence toward people of color and people in lower economic backgrounds, and that's ridiculous.
Yeah, and so that's what he was protesting, and then a former, I want to say Green Beret or Navy SEAL dude told him that hey, instead of sitting on the bench, why don't you kneel, because that's a sign of respect. For
this was a Green Beret recommending this.
Yeah, so you can still show respect to the soldiers who fought for or who defend freedoms, whatever you want to say, all this fake patriotic bullshit. But,
yeah, it looks respectful and very patriotic still. It's just different.
Yeah, and it's a silent, peaceful protest, and then immediately people on the opposite side co-opted it and claimed he was protesting the anthem and protesting the troops.
Yeah, and protesting the nation.
Yeah, and why would anyone protest the anthem? That just sounds like the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Well, not a little hyperbole there, but it's close to it.
It's in that ballpark. It feels like that. Oh man, I looking at it logically, trying to zoom out as much as I can on it, I can only see two reasons to be against Kaepernick and his message, and which isn't just his message, but and be against how the NFL has made compromises to allow that statement, and the fact that this was never like an official thing. It's not like a government thing that we're doing. It's a recreational activity.
Yeah, that
it's
plays the anthem. Yeah.
We're not having like a military practice or something like that that's rooted in, like, the government doesn't spend any money on football, to my knowledge. So why do we need to praise our country in playing football, other than that's a good and wholesome thing to do as a ritual for unity?
Yeah, it's just a tradition.
But this isn't against your unity unless your unity is the white people.
Yeah,
That's the other thing. So I see two ways you can be against this. One, you can be really ignorant and just listen to all the people that are just shit stirrers that are complaining about this, including Trump, who's acting like this is an upset, something to be upset about as an affront to America, instead of something to be upset about as an affront to our people that are getting killed by police.
Yeah, the people who live in America.
Yeah, which is, it's so, a bunch of them are black. Those are our people too. Those are our Americans also. And to throw away something that a community is trying to point out as obvious unfairness in the obvious numbers.
Yeah.
Like, the numbers are there, the research has been done. It's like undeniable that something needs an adjustment and something needs a bit more attention. Or unless you just really want to be them versus us. And it's one thing to be, okay, a political them, okay, like, oh, I'm feeling more like a Democrat now, so the Republicans feel like a them. And I have to fight that internally because I'm not really a Democrat. I really want to be a neutral person. Mm-hmm. But emotionally, I want to hate Republicans because of recent things, when there's Republicans that are very liberal that I would totally agree with. And I've had some on the show. Mm-hmm. So I understand this inner conflict. But if you don't tame this, then I want to say, if you don't tame this, you're a racist. But it's that kind of passive racism where you're just so ignorant that you don't realize that there's groups of people that should be like you and should feel like as important as you, that you're throwing to the fence because of misinformation. Or you just hate those people, and this is a perfect time to get other people on your side that don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah. So
either way, it's irrational. There's no rationale to it based on any facts about what the actual thing is supposed to mean.
Right.
Unless you're putting things in Copernicus' mouth and saying that, like, this is about something that's not. And that's what the most people are upset about, is believing that he's standing for something that's not at all what he's trying to stand for.
Yeah, because people have, like, tried to spin it around. But okay, so that's the background for the
beverage pause. Continue.
Yeah, it's for the Nike protest, or Nike boycott. So Nike decided to use Colin Kaepernick in an ad, and then all those same people who are against the message in the first place, or the protest in the first place, are now, air quotes for the radio people, boycotting Nike. And I just have to point this out because these people have no fucking clue what a boycott is.
Yeah, what the word boycott means.
Like, okay, so usually when you boycott something, that means you're not going to support that company by, usually, the best way to do that is not purchase their products. Not destroy products of theirs that you already own. That makes, like, who cares? Like, you're just destroying your shit. The company doesn't care after they have your money, dude. Like, okay, you're not going to buy it anymore, and then you're going to destroy everything you own by them. Yeah. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And it's, I don't know. But it's a really, like, other weird kind of thing that's, rocking them.
Rocking my Nikes.
But it's another, like, weird kind of thing, too.
I hate football, but I actually really do like Nike a lot.
Yeah, but, like, I feel like company boycotts are, like, happening all the time now. Like, but really, like, flash in the pan bandwagon-y.
Yeah.
Because that's our culture these days. It's like everything, like, hey, Coney 2012. You remember that?
Flash in the pan bandwagon.
Yeah.
Comey?
Coney 2012.
Comey is a different person.
Yeah. No,
yeah,
Coney.
I forgot about the Coney guy, yeah.
Coney 2012.
Talk about someone breaking under pressure.
Right.
Yeah, if people don't remember, correct me if I got part of this wrong, because it was way back in 2012. But this person got a lot of support as an electrical official, and elected officials, really. Don't let me confuse you. And it was a lot of grassroots support. Wasn't this like a really...
I'll be honest, I don't even fucking remember.
Yeah. Basically, this person got a lot of grassroots support, and it seemed like he was a good candidate for whatever. And then he, like, masturbated loudly in a street corner. On a street corner, like, like
Near a street
publicly
corner.
as like a mental breakdown.
Yeah. I remember now.
Yeah, and most people believe, I subscribe to this, that the pressure was too much for him, so he self-sabotaged.
Yeah.
He's like,
Something
what can
that.
I do that's so socially unacceptable that no one will want to vote for me, so I don't have to do this?
Yeah, I think that was the guy who was like kind of spearheaded the whole campaign, because I think Coney was just some dude in like Africa or some shit. And
I'm
he
hoping
just
we're
like,
talking about this wrong enough to spear up some comments. On
Yeah,
the videos.
totally.
Yeah,
'Cause
we're
people-
just gonna keep giving you wrong information until you comment up more. It's like a punishment.
right? No, anyway, besides that, so this whole like boycott culture, like I kind of have to agree. Like if you don't support something, like I really feel like voting with your dollar is the only real vote that matters these days.
Yeah.
The only like real power if you get enough people, if you can, to really
if this
influence.
is really
like,
capitalism, yeah.
Yeah, to really like influence companies' decisions.
If we're really living under a government that has all its decisions led by lobbyists more than the people and corporate interests.
Oh, we do.
Rather than expecting to just elect the next person who's not going to play that game like they have all played for the history of governance in this country and others, we might as well be aware of that and try to make political changes by making changes in corporations. And the easiest way the little person can do that is, like you said, voting with the dollar. The next time you need to buy shoes, then you can decide not to buy Nike.
Yeah.
Or in the case of me, who the advertisement was successful on, I'm way more likely to buy Nikes.
Right.
They're probably going to be used ones from Buffalo Exchange or like a thrift store, but still,
Yeah,
Nike's
right.
probably still not going to get money for them.
Right.
But they'll end up rocking some Nikes. Like, these were not new when I bought them.
Yeah. No, totally. It's I don't know, the whole thing is funny to me. But it's like the same group of people when they boycotted Keurig, and they just
Yeah,
like
the
destroyed
Keurig.
they just destroyed all their Keurig machines that they already paid for. Like that's not a boycott, folks.
No.
I don't know.
Just people smashing Keurig machines.
I don't know how to break it to you.
I just had that moment when I realized I was sitting in a way that was like ultimate neck fat way. You ever do that where like, oh, I look great on this camera. You check the other camera, it's like, oh, it's like only neck rolls. The way not that that matters to quality content, but
No.
we do have some comments that slid in. Jay said, please keep it down.
Oh yeah, I
think
should
that's
close the
more
door.
a reference to No, he said it with a laughing face.
Oh.
I think it's more of a reference to all the yelling and screaming we did last episode.
Oh, yeah,
From me launching beer everywhere by accident.
Oh yeah.
As a punishment, although honestly, if I had thought it through, I would have a beer on me. But I'm taking the moment to like high horse it and do like a sober episode.
Right.
Even though it wasn't entirely on purpose a sober episode, I decided to embrace it. Like previous me would have been like, no, I'll do the episode late if I have to grab a beer beforehand.
Yeah.
And then before that, it would have been like, no, I got to take 15 minutes to smoke a doob before it. And I'm trying to like not let those things guide.
Yeah,
Like
totally.
the most important things I do, I should be able to do without crutches like that.
Yeah.
But I
still won't,
I
though.
can't high horse it that hard and say that I wouldn't have had like one of the little cans with me like last episode.
Right.
Or the one before that. Last episode went gnarly. Last episode I raided one of the midi fridges and I ended up drinking a beer that was supposed to be thrown away because it had opened and someone put the lid back on and it was warm. And then another beer that had frozen
Yeah.
and then the ice separated and it was super gross. And then that one also exploded and went
Everywhere.
everywhere. So just a little teaser if you want to check out last episode. Buying up all the bikes.
What the fuck?
Nikes. Okay.
I was like,
Shout out to Jordan, who's like, "Yep, buying up all the bikes," but then he had to correct that
Oh,
he
yeah,
meant the
Nikes.
Nikes.
Yeah, got
buying
you.
up all the Nikes.
Got you. Right on. That's see, that's cool. More, and then
Alrighty.
other people vote with their dollar another way. So
So y'all, keep commenting, contribute to she. So even if you don't contribute, I'm just gonna like awkwardly repeat things that you message
With no
With no
context.
context. Yeah.
usually like 10 minutes later after that topic is done with, so it seems really out of place, but that's what makes it fun.
Yeah, so I hope that is fun because otherwise people would have no idea why I just went she. Like, no reason for that, unless they happen to be on the YouTube stream. But, yo, some of you YouTube streamers, do me a favor and double check on the Facebook. I said that all backwards.
Yeah.
That was in the Facebook stream. Yo, check out the YouTube stream. Quick shout out, YouTube stream. It's cool. It's one of those cool streams of liquid knowledge. Speaking of knowledge, let's go to actually talking about more shit. Let me bring up the time.
News town.
Here, this is what these are. So there's a new global ranking of gun deaths.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We're number one, right?
We're always.
We're number one about everything except all the things we're not.
I was gonna say that we're not number one, but when you see the countries that rank worse than us, it's like literally all of the ones that are fleeing their countries to become refugees.
Where there's just like massive civil wars all over the place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was the first thing that stood out to me when I checked this out before, that it's places like Venezuela and Guatemala, which are Brazil, the very places that people are lining up at our borders to seek asylum from. Yeah, those are the only people, but mainly Brazil. Okay, so the most recent situation is that we're just behind only Brazil.
Wow.
Just Brazil can kill more people with guns than us. And tragically, more so, it's still mostly suicides. It's still mostly people using them on themselves.
Yeah, that's shitty, man.
And maybe these people in a state of mind that I swear we've all been in sometimes shouldn't have the most easy access. But I mean, there's some people that's something they want in their life and they're strong enough for it, and I don't want to take it away from them. But the fact that you feel like such a weirdo admitting that you have thoughts like that is a shame.
Yeah. I don't know, I always wondered because, I mean, there have been some recent articles talking about, like, suicide rates have been increasing for quite a while. I just wonder if it's, like, part of the system we live in, since it seems to be particular to America, where, like, we're constantly told all these things, like, you know, it's the land of opportunity and this and that, and if you just work really hard, you'll make it, blah, 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 all these, like, platitudes that, like, are no longer true.
Yeah,
and so you, like, feel like even though you're trying, like, things just aren't working out because there's not a lot of, like, I mean, America's very much, I feel like, as far as, like, social safety nets go, like, compared to other first world countries, like, not even close, man. And so, I don't know, it just seems like there's a disconnect there that, like, can make people feel like something's wrong with you because you're not making it when everyone says you should be.
Yeah, you were raised to think that you go to college and what you do in college determines your eventual success, not your eventual debt. And then you do that and you see people jump right past you that spent that time in fields that you're interested in, and you have to play catch up to them. Meanwhile, there's huge swaths of people that could never afford the college situation or achieve enough to get scholarships. Lord knows, I can't even pay attention enough to get good grades, let alone scholarships. It's just how I'm wired. I obviously learned how to do a bunch of shit. Maybe a bunch of shit that none of you guys know how to do, and I couldn't do it with college. It just doesn't function that way. There's different people that learn different ways, and I tried it and it didn't work. And the lack of clear paths for that, the lack of trade schools and the popularity of trade schools, this seemed like such a uncommon thing when trades are deeply in need. If you learn any trade right now, you're going to have work.
Yeah.
So that's unfulfilled, and that's why immigrants are piling in to do trade jobs. And also, we're a nation of a ton of immigrants anyway, so it's like other citizens that just happen to be first generation or whatever. So that happens just as just as badly with actually I'm abandoning the beginning of that sentence because I forgot where I was going with that. The other thing that I feel is okay, hold on. Also, that's how I'm swapping, like giving you clear boundaries between points I'm making.
Right.
I find that helpful when I try to listen to my shit later.
New point.
Okay, new point. There's also a cultural stigma, I feel, to where culturally, as Americans, whatever that means, we're too spooked out by our own mental weaknesses that we're not there for each other either.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you feel like you can't talk to... As people in the artist community, we're lucky. Because artists are just, like, softer people and more open about things, regardless of the discipline of art. But you see that and you interact with, like, normies or whatever, and just everyone's struggling with similar things and has their own cocktail of difficulties.
Yeah.
And there's so little perceived understanding.
Yeah, totally.
But I like what you said that really amplifies it, of the fact that the system, more specifically how people are raised in education, is fundamentally broken and ridiculously expensive from any direction. Even trade schools.
Yeah. No, it really is. And then there's like no guarantee. It's saturated.
There's no loyalty to employers anymore. So
No.
you get a great job and you're laid off. There's no one staying with a company more than 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, that's a really common trend now.
Yeah.
And like the only way to like get raises is to go to a new company that just pays you more.
Seriously, though.
Like, yo, it seems nutty, man. And then like, and this is the thing, cause like, I heard this from my parents, and like, it's just like you don't go to places anymore and like fill out applications and drop your resume off. You know what I mean? Like, it's all online now. They all use like algorithmic filters for resumes and shit like that, and make you enter these like questionnaires that take an hour, where you have to put in all the information on your resume anyway, and take like 100 question quizzes, you know, that just filters people out. And
Yeah,
it's
and
like,
they have to do that because there's so many people to choose from.
yeah, exactly.
In this climate of record low unemployment,
Yeah.
for some reason there's all these people applying for jobs. I wonder why that statistic looks like that.
Right.
Maybe it's because it's like anyone getting any employment for anything to survive, even though they're massively underemployed.
Yeah.
And people are working below their skill level across the board.
Yeah, totally.
Or they got skills that aren't the ones that are necessary right now. But they're still important. I feel bad for these people, but they didn't have help filling niches. Yeah.
Yep.
On that.
I don't know. Well, we'll take over Brazil one of these days.
Yeah.
We'll get ahead of them. We'll be back to number 1. Don't you guys sweat it. They aren't taking our guns. Oh no.
No.
They'll have to rip them from my cold, dead, Nike covered hands.
Nor do I think taking everyone's guns away is going to do it.
No.
I feel like it's one of those things that it's correlation more than causation. The availability of guns isn't the only reason for the extra gun deaths.
Yeah.
It's the lack of an emotional maturity, which is hard for me to say because how emotionally mature am I?
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I mean, if I was more emotionally mature, I wouldn't put myself through the weird naked experience of yelling my opinions at people for 2 hours a week.
Right?
It's obvious insecurity involved there that you can join with me in.
Right. Let's all share our insecurities.
Yeah, let's community it up though.
Let's get a big, we can all quilt them together and get a big old insecurity blanket.
Insecurity blanket?
That's a blanket of insecurity, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know.
I keep forgetting that you don't have the notes on you today.
Yeah, I don't have
so
the
let
fucking
me
notes, Foz.
help do my job. So,
I don't have my notes.
this woman, this intrepid spy of espionage in the household, she killed her husband by putting eye drops in his water, or like in his beverages.
Like long term?
Yeah, like it took a couple weeks.
That's really weird. Because I know you can like do that, and it like
He was in his 60s anyway.
Oh, but it like gives people the shits, right?
You know,
that's what I've always heard. You can like put eye drops in people's drinks, and it'll give them the shits.
I've only tasted a couple and been like, "That's nice, but those aren't for eating." That's just, I didn't have the shits from that. But yeah, apparently you put enough eye drops, and not that I'm recommending anyone do this, because she was totally found out.
Yeah.
They saw the chemical up in the sky and was like, "Oh, this person died of eye drops in the
Eye drop
inside
poisoning.
them. Yeah, eye drop poisoning.
What the fuck? Like that? Why is that even? Man.
So we need to change the formula of eye drops now.
Or oh man.
Eye drops challenge. It's the new Tide Pod.
God, dude. That's gonna be a fucking thing now. I guarantee that.
No, it's gonna be a new thing for spouses murdering.
Right? I just like that's.
It shouldn't be a new thing because it was found out right away. It's more like it's an old thing that no one does anymore if they like Google it.
Right.
This is a failure to Google. It's her biggest crime.
Yep. Way to go, greatest generation.
Yeah, they were baby boomers. Not that I'm like singling out a generation to like. hate
No.
And we only do that with Arizona.
Yeah. Oh no. I'm a strict generationalist. I'll admit it. Yeah. Fuck everyone else.
Every time I hear the word generation, I think of Pepsi's marketing.
Yeah.
I can't stop thinking about the history of marketing between Pepsi and Coke. I just have to share a media recommendation. If you guys haven't checked out a podcast called Business Wars, it's so good. Y'all like our little business news sometimes. That podcast has helped a lot of my business and marketing historical insight.
Yeah.
I mean, I could go on and on about some of the nitty gritty of the new Coke debacle.
Mm-hmm.
For example, just briefly, people think that it was just a marketing failure. Like New Coke was just stupid from the beginning. But all the way along, it made sense. The big failure was the decision to replace Coca-Cola Classic with New Coke.
Yeah,
Because
totally.
if they had done them as a side-by-side product, there would have been some chance that it could have even revitalized the appreciation of old Coke. And some people think they did it on purpose because of how much people came back and appreciated it. But they said in a specific statement, we're not smart enough or dumb enough to have meant to do it this way because of how much we lost before we got back.
Yeah, the truth is we're not that smart, but we're also not that dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they brought it back, but they wouldn't have done it in the first place if it weren't for the Pepsi challenge. A lot of people forget about that.
Yeah, I
But
remember.
Pepsi went full bore and said, hey, blind taste tests, what do people prefer? It was Pepsi.
Yeah, a lot of the times.
But a lot of that also had to do with, I mean, just because the majority of people like something doesn't mean that what the minority likes is worthless.
Yeah, totally.
But, you know, in corporate culture, when you've got like a board of directors and stockholders to appease, then you have to only be the best at the cost of being the best anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, on the real though, like Coke is trash. What? Yeah, come at me. No, I got a media recommendation about that same exact thing, cuz.
No.
Yo, this album by this band Negative Land called Dis Pepsi. And this is they're really interesting. They take like a lot of like sound bites from commercials and ads and like splice them into songs and just do all these weird songs.
Negative Land is sick, I'll vouch.
Yeah, but the album Dis Pepsi it's pretty great. You should go check it out. It's a lot about that rivalry during that time period. So
I think it's a shame that they didn't. Well, I think it's a shame that they couldn't afford to keep New Coke on as a product, because marketing-wise, it had become too unpopular to be economical to keep producing it. Except for one person, the CEO through the New Coke debacle, Goizeta. He drank New Coke every day the day he died.
wow.
He had people whip up a batch of it for him specifically.
Damn.
For the rest of his life.
I mean,
I tasted it so bad. It was
Yo,
supposed
New
to be
Coke
better.
was worse than Old Coke.
It was only worse to people who culturally had become dependent on Old Coke.
Yeah.
From like a completely blank perspective, the majority of people would consider it better tasting.
Yeah. But
Like the thing with Pepsi. I kind of think RC Cola tastes better than either of them, but it's probably honestly my brain reacting to the sugar content.
yeah.
Kind of like if you play two recordings that are identical, one slightly louder, people across the board will say the louder one sounds better.
That's interesting.
That's part of what's behind the loudness wars and mastering. Which, okay, just one quick point on that. If you feel like you still have to play loudness wars and mastering, okay, I feel you. I understand the social pressure on that as a musician or whatever. But have some goddamn dynamics. So yeah, the loud parts, sure, but the idea of making all the verses and all the quiet parts and your refrains, like bumping up to 0-2, fucking no. Dynamics. Learn what dynamics means and have some quiet stuff in your music.
That's why you gotta do like the whole track like really quiet, and just have that one note that's just like really loud, like the clank.
Yeah.
It's like. Bah!
Oh, like a Nirvana song or an old Deftones song.
Yeah, there you go.
Or any like number of famous artists that are known for being super heavy or being rocking that go super mellow. Even Korn would have these verses that were just like a minimalist drum beat, bass that you only heard as like clicks, and like some guitar swirlies.
Yeah.
Some
you need to
noises,
go
like super minimalist.
You need to go like Pootie Tang.
What's Pootie Tang?
Yo, Pootie Tang was a movie about this dude Pootie
Oh,
Tang.
yeah!
Yeah, written by like I think Louis C.K. directed
Did
it or
he?
wrote it or something. I can't remember.
That movie was amazing though.
Oh, it was really weird.
Yeah, media recommendations, y'all. Get your pencils.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a classic for sure. But in it, where he has like the song, and he has the producer or the engineer in the studio turn down like all the tracks, and it's just silence. And then it gets released on the radio, and everyone loves it. They're like, "Oh yeah, Pootie Tang."
Didn't Nick Cage do that too? Not Nick, something Cage. You guys. I'm saying so many awful things.
Carl Cage.
Yeah, like Carl Cage.
Who is not a dude who we just totally made up just now.
I'm thinking of the guy that made the longest song that's like still being performed right now.
Oh, that dude.
Something Cage.
As slowly as possible.
Yeah.
Where those like monks have to come and change the blocks on the organ. I love that idea, man. But
Yes.
what's cool about it is that's how like religions get started. Because like 3 generations from now, if they've all followed it, and like
They'll feel like a god will smash them with his giant finger
if
if
they don't do
that.
it, they're like, no, this is God's organ. Elton John's organ.
I'm finding that really beautiful though.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great idea. It's really
Sometimes ritual can be beautiful.
yeah.
And meditation. I don't know if I've brought that up in an episode. I bring it up too much. But the simplest form of meditation where you just like concentrate on your breathing is just so valuable. I find that a lot of people like our age are discovering that nowadays, to the value of just like, okay, you take a moment and and it's like a muscle. It's so much harder to do than it sounds like to not think about anything.
Yeah.
Because things just come in. And you feel like you're flexing a muscle the longest you can get yourself to not think about anything. But just focusing on your breathing and just everything about air going in and out of you like you're some balloon is like my favorite tip on that.
Yeah, it's like a pattern breathing. But yeah, that's why they called it, or that's why meditation is called a practice. But there was like the Buddha's like, or how to achieve enlightenment is to do like the perfect 10, where you can do 10 breaths without like thinking of anything else.
Whoa, which is so hard to make.
Yeah,
it to
which
10.
like you can't do it because then you have to like count, and you're not supposed to even think about counting. So it's like it's one of those like Buddhist, those like Zen cones where they're just like,
It really, like right now in my head, I'm like, I could do that.
Yeah,
I
no,
could do that.
no.
But I don't think I've ever done that.
No.
It's like way harder than
I
it sounds like
guarantee you, like you'll get to like 8, and
Yeah.
you'll start thinking about some shit. We'll just wandering.
Well,
That's
let's
the
lay
point.
down a rule and make it like a challenge somewhat of just like, okay, you're allowed to count to 10 only, and then you have to start back at 1. Did you have any other thoughts?
But then it's whoever you're like, oh yeah, I totally did that. I do it all the time. I'm like, I'm enlightened as fuck. Like, bit enlightened, dog.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, honor system on this game.
Yeah, honor. Yeah.
But yeah, take the 10-minute 10 count to 10 challenge with us, you guys. It's a new thing.
All
Count to 10
it
challenge.
takes to reach enlightenment. That's it.
Yeah, we're gonna get enlightenment together.
Yeah.
Man, we are chomping through some subjects. We are reaching enlightenment. I think that if there's a time when you should feel like you should tell other people about this podcast, it's like I'm gonna declare that we earned it. And
Yeah,
the
that's
thing
what-
is, even if we hadn't earned it, we live in a climate and media where we can just be really adamant that we earned it, and it's like gaslighting our audience to support us.
You have to believe it because
Yeah.
we said it.
Yeah.
We claimed we did it.
We
what-
totally earned a recommendation from you.
Are you gonna call us fucking liars?
5 stars on iTunes.
Totally.
That's a hard one, y'all.
Getting any stars on iTunes.
Yeah.
Because again, it's one of those things where you're like, iTunes, who cares?
Yeah, I used that for my podcast
Yeah.
thingy, but podcasts I listen to very adamantly, haven't occurred to me to like star them. I just get the content.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no like thumbs up in my face. So
no,
hey,
and like,
iTunes reviews are notoriously difficult to get.
yeah,
Almost as hard to get as YouTube subscribers.
right.
Which, I mean, you all are going to be like, hey, I watch all these stupid people that have hella subscribers. They make it look so easy. But a lot of people have had different cultural things that they've written, or they've had one piece that hit a wave, and they've ridden that out. And some of those people have ridden out, and their content's gotten better, and they've grown from it. And some people suck, and they have a lot of subscribers. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of people, say, geographically near us that have some of these giant level subscriber people you see, like Unbox Therapy level situation. It's a lot in Canada.
What even is that? Unbox? Like, how do you... It's not a therapy.
Yeah, my boy Lou at Unbox Therapy. We got lots of media recommendations today. But regardless, yeah, that's hard. So we're trying to be more outputty on the YouTube. You get a little bit I think you get a little bit better audio on YouTube too. Not to...
Boom, Facebook.
As if this is the first time I've talked crap on Facebook Live versus YouTube Live.
Yo, I'll do it all day.
Half the time we've bitched about Facebook Live, it's been our fault and something we did wrong. But I mean,
They don't need
half
They don't
of
need
a
to know
lot
that.
of things is going to have gone wrong. YouTube, I don't know if we've had anything go wrong with the YouTube stream yet.
Oh, we will.
Well, it was hard to get going last time because I had scheduled a stream, and then I'm messing with OBX. Shout out to BG from a couple episodes, was one of the people that recommended OBX.
Yeah.
And that worked great too. It's just that it didn't do my scheduled stream. So there's people that had a link to the scheduled one that didn't air.
Oh, gotcha.
But if y'all went to the regular YouTube channel, it's there. And that's what I did today. You just have to go to the YouTube channel. It's got the same name. Anyway, what up, Tyler? And
What
Jordan. Up? Thanks for hollering in, people. But yeah, check out the YouTube stream again.
Yeah.
That's a
Like,
very lively and living horse that I'm beating. Not beating a dead horse with that.
Comment, subscribe.
Yeah. Like, comment, subscribe.
That.
Yeah. So, I've got a funny story.
Yeah,
to
like,
tell.
comment, or subscribe, or we'll come and put eye drops in all of your drinks.
That's how you avoid getting eye dropped.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's two different types of sponsors that we have on the show.
Mm-hmm.
One's like kicker headphones that we love, and I'm usually wearing them. And the audio would probably be better on this show if I was wearing them right now, because I'd be controlling things better. And, of course, Cold Cock Whiskey, the classic Zip Fizz that's been with the station forever.
Yo, I've been living off Zip Fizz for like the last 2 weeks, man.
I saw it. Yeah, man, you got that powder in every beverage, really. Yeah, I could, like, you're not even just saying that. You
No,
put
for
Zip
real.
in it good.
Yeah.
And so there's sponsors like that, and we're very loving to them. But I feel like I should apologize for being less than loving to the more corporate-y sponsors, like low-cost airlines and National Treatment Advisors and Davidson Big Idea. Davidson Big Idea, I really gave them more of a shout out than they probably even deserve, though. That's when I've hollered about that stupid company so much. Like,
Right.
if you're gonna use Davidson Big Idea, you're gonna use them by now. I've
Yeah,
talked
yeah.
about them so much. They've gotten like special treatment. But them aside, we like to make fun of the phone numbers. And that's not the best. This is why I'm apologizing, because it's not the best look to the other sponsors.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
we really should be as respectful to these sponsors that we don't have as direct of a relationship with. They're more national sponsors. So like they sponsor a bunch of other shows. And they don't interact with us very directly. But when people mention RadioVegas.rocks to these people, they do throw us something.
Mm-hmm.
They are like a legit sponsor that does give money to the station. It's just not as personal of a relationship as our local sponsors. Or I guess Cold Cock Whiskey, kind of more of a local sponsor, even though they're not located in town. What is the term? There's probably a legit term for this. Like the sponsors that we actively like shake hands with a person with. Like our buddies.
Yeah.
So there's sponsors and there's sponsors that are also our buddies.
Yo,
potential sponsors that might be listening to this now that apparently were when they heard us being more flippant with the phone numbers on the other ones, which I always let the phone number play at least once so you can always rewind. There's no object that you're listening to this on that you can't rewind on, I'm sure of it. Or at least access it through that same box of wires. There's a way to get that phone number again, or just Google the names of these places. But in classic radio form, these recordings happen to have the phone number several times. So we like to crescendo the number and bring extra build to these times the number happens again. And that's our rationale, but that's not justification for our clear, flippantness with it. So I knew I was going to have to say this eventually. But I don't have to. No one asked me to say this. This is just from my heart.
Yeah.
That hey, I took that a little far, and I feel it helped the sponsor, but it's not up to me to say I know what helps sponsors the best. It's they're right to be sponsored how they want, but
Yo, they do get some kick-ass interstitials, though.
yeah, that's another thing. But I feel it's easy to, if you're just checking things out for the first time and you're not following our traditions, to feel that that's disrespectful. Because it's obviously blatantly disrespectful. We just mean it. We mean it in the kind of friendly way that makes things cooler to people that aren't looking to be marketed to. They're looking to go behind the news. And if we think something's cool, that's how we mock things we think are cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know how everyone has that friend who they're he's an asshole, but he's our asshole.
Boom.
That's us.
That's us with our sponsors.
Yeah. And
But
in real life with friends.
none of this should take away from the fact that Naked City Pizza is fucking amazing. So Naked City Pizza all day. Our buddies at Pinche's Tacos. But also Juan's Flaming Fajita and Cantina, where you can get a free blood orange margarita if you get a gringo taco, which you should get anyway, because it's like a multi-taco. It's like your couple of favorite tacos in one taco. And
True.
It's really the only place I've seen have the street taco, coastal kind of taco situation, but larger, not like little ones.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting format because it's priced competitively too. Yeah, their economic decisions are pleasing. So that's my sponsor confession. Because, you think only your buddies are listening, but
They're not.
yeah, and it's easy to misconstrue a cultural tradition that is irreverent as disrespectful, when irreverence doesn't necessarily have to be disrespect. Lots of times, reverence is a demonstration of camaraderie.
Yeah.
So, man, I feel like with that laid in, we should just hop in a little early on the commercial chug.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, come
Commercial
on.
chug.
So with that reverence, hey, sponsor the station. You're going to get our love and us mentioning you a bunch. Also off the air. I talk off the air about these people too. And we end up having to, even against our will, interacting with a lot of people. So,
Commercial chug.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Why? Because you can save 45% on packages compared to your high-priced cable bill. Wow. Take those giant scissors out and cut the cable and save with Dish TV. Plus, you get a free DVR upgrade to record your favorite shows and free installation. And with Dish Anywhere, you can watch TV for free on your mobile device. Act fast. You can save hundreds of dollars. Does your cable company do that for you? I don't think so. Get all the best TV programming at your fingertips at a fraction of the price of cable TV. So say adios, arrivederci, goodbye to the high cable bill and save up to 45% on Dish TV packages today. These are limited time offers and can change at any time. Call fast. 800-293-0328. 800-293-0328. 800-293-0328. That's 800-293-0328.
that's it. You got the number. It's not about phone numbers. It's about looking up Dish Network and then mentioning radiovegas.rocks. But I mean, it's easier to just call the number. That 800-293-0328. Just call it. Call it and mention radiovegas.rocks. This is our thumbnail, though, yo. Nike forever. I'm going to wear my Nikes on an airplane
Greece is cheap.
But the airfare costs a fortune.
Paris?
Not much closer, and again, airfare...
What about Puerto Vallarta?
Let's face it, flying anywhere is just too expensive.
Wait, what's this? Low-cost airlines.
With one call to low-cost airlines, you'll drastically slash your travel costs. We're talking insanely low airline prices to any of your favorite destinations. Where would you like to go? London, Rome, Costa Rica, Australia?
Wow, that's cheap.
So why wait? Call now to learn how crazy cheap it is to fly anywhere in the U.S. or international. Our prices are so low, we can't publish them. The only way to get them is to call to instantly hear the most amazing best deals on airline travel. It's that easy. So call now and start packing.
800-515-2397. 800-515-2397. 800-515-2397. That's 800-515-2397.
Yo, holler out to the folks backing me up on Pinche's Tacos. Also, I found out that the term is a personal sponsor. Those sponsors that we get all personal with.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's one I didn't name. Spunk Lube. Spunk Lube's one.
Talk
about a personal sponsor.
Very personal.
Few sponsors we allow to be so personal with us. Nor do few sponsors give us like a whole jug of their product, which is so fun.
Yo, I bathed in it once.
Dude, it's non-staining. I mean, at some point you might need a sexual lubricant anyhow. It might as well resemble semen, because that's a part of the whole adventure regardless.
Might as well.
So Spunk Lube, a relatable sponsor to that would be Hangover Joe's, because when Spunk Lube's involved, sometimes also alcohol is. And in the aftermath, we might need some recovery. And Hangover Joe's is my favorite go-to for said recovery. Packed full of aloe, you get all kinds of that moisture recovery. Yeah, when you can throw a bunch of moisture, like drink a bunch of water, but when your cells are able to retain the water more, like you get your cells more spongy, then you hydrate more fully. So that scientifically is why Hangover Joe's is really good.
Yo, you know what one of my favorite uses for Spunk Lube is? Spunk Lube Slip and Slide. It's fucking great. Everyone should try it right now.
Yeah, just clear the rocks. Hey, slip and slide tip. If you live in the desert, especially.
Yeah, clear the rocks, man. Come on.
Check on. Clear the rocks.
Some goddamn common sense.
It might look like grass, but this is rock territory up in that grass.
Even our grass is rocks.
Yeah, even the grass is rocks. So, hey, there's going to become a time when, I say keep purchasing Hangover Joe's for just healthy energy in addition to Zip Fizz. Like, start off your day with some Zip Fizz, keep it trucking with some Hangover Joe's without the alcohol part. Not that I'm like anti-alcohol, but, there's a limit. And when it's hard to maintain these limits, there's some great folks that are willing to sponsor us and also help you when things are getting to where you're needing that too much. Talking about substance use mitigation. Yeah, I'm so proud of being able to find those words in that moment. Sober episode, y'all. Welcome to Sober Episode.
Whoa.
If you are trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 800-961-2480. 800-961-2480.
That's right. Talking without the microphone unmuted doesn't do a whole lot. Welcome. Learn and grow with us. So, National Treatment Advisors, just to be personal and not treat these like just things that we just play and don't care about. That's a real thing. They've existed way before sponsoring us or anything like that. So that's real. Equally real is some folks that aren't just like the local neighborhood tax donkey. This is like your tax authority. When you need tax action dealt with by people that like taxes is what they spread on their toast in the morning, this is like that kind of situation.
The following story is fictional. Woo, boy, I had a rough night's sleep. Let me read you that letter I got from the IRS. Dear John, according to our records, you owe the IRS $37,950.50. If you don't call us right away and set up a payment plan, we're going to freeze your bank account and put a lien on your home. Well, heck, part of me says you want my trailer, you can go ahead and have it. And I only got $100 in the bank anyway. But so here's what I did. I called me the tax doctor. I paid them their fee, and I got the whole thing reduced to $1,000. If you owe the IRS any personal or business taxes well north of $10,000, you call yourself the tax doctor right now. See if they can save you some real money.
800-917-8546. 800-917-8546. 800-917-8546.
See, taxes and getting them done by a professional is valuable, even if the voice actor you hire kind of varies between Cajun and like an old prospector. I think these things are funny, and pointing them out makes the commercial more memorable yet. But like the last episode was the first time I brought these up, except for just now. And of course, that's when like someone notices when I've been a good boy before now. Clearly, I get hung up on things too. You know what? I don't even know what sponsor heard this and had this complaint. But the thing is, it's a valid complaint. I totally don't disagree with them.
Yeah, right.
It's just one of those things where like we all think we can just not get called on for things when we're like quietly pushing boundaries. Like I know a part of my mind is like, let's see what I can get away with, like some mischievous rascal. Yeah. And I don't want our lovely sponsors that are lovely because they actually are great products. I'm not just like saying that flippantly. We only deal with people, whether they're investigating us or not. And again, like I don't know who this is. So for all I know, we could have vetted them and not accepted them as a sponsor because of our super high quality standards for sponsors. But most likely they're great, and I hope they're enjoyed.
For all you know, it was me posing as a sponsor.
It probably was. Dude, will you still be a sponsor, man? I want you to still sponsor me, man. Come on. I love you.
I'm just getting Waz in trouble.
Hey, honestly, the fact that they liked the other shows on the station also is cool enough, because I was going to try to weave that into something mean towards our show, but I don't have it in me. We have the best show ever. Get ready. I can't be self-deprecating right now. I feel too cocky.
All right.
And that cockiness is the same attitude that leads to destroying your credit, like many of us have done. And sometimes when your credit's this destroyed, you again need someone that's not just your uncle getting on Credit Karma or whatever and kind of trying to wheel and deal with these faceless entities that affect your score as a human and your interest rates on future choices. That's when you need to call in some pro folks like these folks.
Do you want to pay more for a new car or new home or less? Yeah! Do you want to pay higher interest rates on your credit cards or even to refinance student loan debt or less? Yeah! The secret to paying less on everything is a better credit score. Is your credit score less than 700? Do you even know? Well, now at the same time, you can learn exactly what your credit score is and learn how to make it better. And when you call our special credit repair hotline, you'll speak to an expert that will tell you simple steps to start improving your credit score. And the call and consultation are free. That's free. I'm telling you, the secret to paying less is a better credit score, and you can fix it right now. So please make this free call and change your life.
877-857-1286. 877-857-1286. That's 877-857-1286.
That's right. numbers to live by. Have them tattooed. Not somewhere obvious where everyone can see the tattoo. Somewhere personal, like what's a good spot for a tattoo of a phone number? Help me out. Comment below if you know where to tattoo a phone number.
Elbow.
Elbow? No, dude. How well do you look at your elbows? Wasn't that like a thing that you made people do?
Yeah.
Like try to bite your elbow.
Yeah. Try to lick your elbow or something. Yeah.
This is about to get really culturally insensitive. So, credit repair. We talked about that. Davidson. These people are the reason why I try to invent something every week. Just brief recap. We invented a device to clean the tops of soda cans because soda cans are just like this container floating around, getting dead bats and trucker skin flakes landing on them and crap. And why is that like that? You got to clean that off. And so our invention... Excuse me. That was one of those burps I had to cover up with a primal scream. So it wasn't one of those rude burping on the microphone people. Clean your soda cans. We've got an invention to help you with that. What was the next one? Oh, yeah, Olive Garden Shave Club. So we're working with Davidson Big Idea on a marketing campaign to launch Olive Garden's first monthly subscription service. So this is not only a monthly subscription service for Olive Garden's existing network of quality products, which is faux Italian food, but a launch of a new line of shaving products, not just for men, but anything that grows hair. That means pets too. So we don't want to just shave your wives and shave the man of your household. We want to shave cats, but only, this is the thing with the cats, with consent, because you might have a cat that likes the coolness, and you can shave that with the products and services you get from Olive Garden Shave Club, which is not only razors sent to you in the mail, like some other shave clubs that you might be familiar with, but you get the famous breadstick handle we discussed.
Yeah.
That's this guy's invention here. Kudos. The breadstick handle. When it's time to replace your handle because of what grows on it. Your physical objects should spoil if they're going to be replaced. Like if your toothbrush got moldy when it was time to replace it, you'd replace it on time instead of using the same one for 9 months like a sicko, like I've been doing. The bristles are all coming out sideways, and I feel weird and gross every time I'm using it.
Hold on. Is that too long to use a toothbrush?
That's way too long.
I've still got like my childhood toothbrush.
Childhood toothbrush. It's like got one or two of those tufts of bristles left.
Yeah.
It's like just for flossing.
Yeah. It's handy.
It's just a plastic stick. You're just banging on your teeth.
Yeah, totally.
So Olive Garden Shave Club, y'all. Not only do we have products for home care and grooming within your bathroom, but also a line of pet grooming. So we can have a van come to your house with a trailer branded with the Olive Garden logo and stuff. And then we can slather your pet all up in Alfredo sauce. I remembered the name of the sauce now. And this also gives us a way to use up our less fresh Alfredo sauce. Alfredo sauce doesn't go bad or spoil. We don't want to use terminology like that. It just becomes less fresh. So like the less fresh Alfredo, we can slather your pet down with it and get a nice smooth shave. We don't want to just like trim your pet. We're talking about bald pets. We want pets that like the skin of their body is like a human testicle sack. Like that level. Which is elegant when done smoothly. Like a smooth animal,
Oh, yeah.
If you want smooth animals, Olive Garden is going to pivot through my guidance and marketing to a new realm of growth and progress. And Davidson Big Idea is here to help.
You have no idea. I've got an idea.
I got an idea.
I got an idea.
What's the big idea?
Do you have an idea for a new product or a phone app? Well, now is the time to make your idea a priority. Get it off the ground fast and call Davidson. We have over 25 years experience helping big idea thinkers like you turn your ideas into products and apps that are found in retail stores and online. It's simple to get started. Call now and ask for our free Big Idea Starter Guide.
Guide. We'll show you how to get started and protect your idea, and show you the steps to get your killer idea in front of a corporation that can help you grow your dream. Dream big and be big. Call Davidson now for your free Big Idea Starter Guide. Davidson charges fees for services.
800-208-9876. 800-208-9876. 800-208-9876.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Guys, our final sponsor of the day is Nike. So now if you've been fast forwarding through the sponsors, which you shouldn't do with us compared to other people because we bless you with interstitial data between. We try to make those chunks in between the sponsors so juicy as to quell the urges of your fast forwarding fingers. But I can't help but mention our last and final and possibly most glorious sponsor, Nike, who's chosen to sponsor us because of how adamantly we've stood behind Kaepernick. Hey, either way.
Colin Kaepernick, yeah.
And
you know what? I think I just had this idea during the show, actually. It's weird, like, when you get an idea. You know?
It's pretty remarkable.
I haven't had an idea in a long time. Like, when's the last time I had an idea? No. If, like, every company across the board just, like, puts Colin Kaepernick in an ad.
Just everybody. Boycott us all.
Like, what are they going to do? What are you going to destroy everything you own? I mean, come on, people.
It really feels like it can't be all just racism, and it just has to be so much ignorance that people want to take a contrarian side on this when it should be like a non-issue. We should just be like all, oh man, what he's standing for with the police violence should be the issue. And it's not like that's anti-cop. We're talking about firing cops that are cowboys. And the good police officers that I've met would have no problem with that. These are the people that are pissing them off in their own workplace. So
yeah.
Hey, shout out to the YouTube comments for letting me know that my mic was a little low on that side, and also wanting to know, and we should confirm this, if we're wearing pants. So I don't know. I can see your knees. I went. Usually it's been like shorts that you would sleep in. Like, really? Like, why are you going out in public in those shorts? But today, wow, I love this angle. Look at
I mean, I can, like, not wear pants.
I'm so happy with the
I'd probably be more comfortable with that.
Whenever a camera can, like, look up a pant leg, I just think good cinematography is happening.
Like, you know what? Pants fucking suck.
They do. We really shouldn't do this with pants anymore.
I know.
It makes me feel like we could have made a conscious choice to abandon pants before this broadcast, and it could have been a notch better.
I think the world should abandon pants, man. Enough of it. You know, just like super, super casual Friday every day.
I was going to say unless you live in a very cold climate, but I mean, aren't you going indoors?
Yeah.
Why are we wearing pants indoors?
Yeah, like, who goes outside when it's cold anyway? Like, what kind of...
Yeah, what is cold anyway?
Masochist are you, man?
Like, you're taking it there. I was going to say, people take shoes off when you go into their houses.
Yeah.
When I see that shoe tree at the front door and I realize, hey, these are some shoe off people, I better take my pants off too. I don't want to get my dirty pants all over their clothes.
Yeah.
All over their couches. Who knows what I've been sitting in? Did I go and sitting in their couch? It's gross.
Right.
I'm going to make all my guests take their pants off.
Oh, no, sorry. No pants on the carpet.
One of those wooden plaques that has like the coat hanger swirled so it looks like a vine stem all elegantly.
Yeah.
And it's that font where the end of the letters are dots.
Yeah.
Ladies, you know when you've done this.
Know.
Yeah, there was a time when you were like 16 at church making those like wooden signs. They're like, home is where the family is. And there's like dangly metal things on it and that hooks to like a wooden heart that's cut out. Come on, holla if you've done this.
Home is where the family is.
Not to call out women for doing that, but like very few guys make these wooden signs.
It's true.
Guys hang them up, especially if it's a pretty lady that made it. But we don't make them. We make them and it's like man cave or like tool shed. And it's those ones that's like a router and the dark wood.
Yeah.
Like no one buys those anymore.
Oh, man.
That's toxic masculinity.
A few of those.
It's toxic. Did you say your dad made a few of those?
Yeah, I seem to remember some of those. Or like,
Didn't all of our dads?
yeah, exactly. It's like that nostalgia.
What's the equivalent for our generation of that? Like Arduinos, making Arduino robots and stupid shit. Not even that much of it, because it's signage.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what ours would be.
I don't know. I think it's something that's like a religious thing.
Yeah.
Like if you're using enough of your mind on a religion, which I'm not gonna be a dick about in this instance.
I am.
Yeah, go ahead and do that if you want. But you're gonna be more likely to make silly wooden signs. And hey, maybe your wooden signs were the coolest ones. Mad respect to that art form, but it's you know, it's very innocent.
We got new shit now.
What got me on those?
I have no idea.
Just home is where the family is.
Sometimes.
Why is there a Jason in the studio? Oh, Jason. Yeah. Man, thanks for competent. Thanks for complimenting. It's not a compliment. Thanks for commenting. Yeah, there's, you know, that shit should be addressed. You can't tell on YouTube because I'm pointing. No, on YouTube you can. All these different things. iTunes. You can't tell I'm pointing on iTunes. So my biggest problem with iTunes is that you can't tell what I'm pointing at.
Yeah. It's very disappointing.
It's disappointing. Get it? All right. So yeah, Jason's in the studio. All kinds of different Jasonings. And I'm going to actually go back to notes now and take this places. Because we're probably done talking about Nike, my new favorite company.
I'm sure they'll come back up sometime.
Okay. Just because I'm feeling it, and I feel like when the host is feeling it, that's a good thing to guide entertainment of this kind of format. But I have to just one more time say, why are we distracting people from an issue of like the police violence thing? Just like, where's the money in like wiping that under the rug and distracting that? Because even police have problems with this.
Yeah.
In their own, among their own peers. And I sympathize with them greatly. And his taking a kneel is an anti-cop. It doesn't mean that we should be anarchists and not have law enforcement. It just means we should review policies. And I just don't get why that's so controversial except for misdirection. And why is there this misdirection for something that's like innately not harming any income? It's not like there's like some big police money that's not going to get to some like firearms company or something because of Kaepernick. It's not like our corporate prison system is going to lose money over this, or will it? Maybe it's just corporate prisons. Maybe I fucking tore it away.
Yeah. In
my still being unable to grasp where the money is, where the payola is for this kind of divisiveness. Yeah, it's diverse and that's good. This kind of divisiveness over something that seems easy to get behind as a movement.
Yeah.
That it could be so divisive. It has to be one of those things where like there's money behind something, and maybe it's just more of that big prison money.
Could be.
Because it's a lot of money. No one's got corporatized prisons like we do. No one jails a tenth of as many of their population as we do. Except maybe like Brazil.
And our politicians all own like stock in private prisons and shit.
Yeah.
Like, and they're making the laws to like determine who goes to those private prisons.
Last I checked, Brazil was number 2 to us, and it was like a third. And this is a nation like in civil war. There's the only people. It's like political dissonance being imprisoned. And that's the only way they can come close to imprisonating as many people as we do. Impersonating a prisoner.
Do it all the time.
But I was hoping that might somehow segue me to another thing that there's a lot of fun speculation on. And that's what you might have heard Trump is really upset about. And actually setting a brand new standard in American legal policy, being the first president to insist on finding the identity of an anonymous writer using their free speech to criticize him.
Which is directly contrary to the First Amendment.
Yeah.
Which should protect you from, protect your speech from the government. So where's all those like, my First Amendments people Why aren't they up in arms at the oh, because it's only convenient when it's for you.
Well, I want to, for sport, and hopefully I've practiced this enough, argue and take on the person that's listening to this right now that's saying, hey, whoa, wait, this isn't just a clear-cut First Amendment thing. This is someone that is in the White House that is a security breach risk. The thought here is this person breached a trust of confidence in where he was and what he was observing to keep that out of the public eye, and has gone public with information about how inner workings go that he didn't have permission to have. And this is a threat to national security. But then I want to back up and be like, wait a minute, I think you skipped a step here. Isn't it only a threat to national security when it's information relating to national security?
Yeah.
That's my thought too. So I feel like we're jumping to a conclusion without looking at what the things are here. Like the people that are upset at Copernic and taking a knee that don't understand what his real movement is, what that's really supposed to stand for. They just think that this person is taking a stand against America and what the national anthem stands for. Even though they're doing a gesture for the national anthem, like they're actively participating in a ritual that honors the national anthem. It's not like they're putting their tongue out during the national anthem.
Yeah, right.
Taking a knee seems really respectful. That's what we do when we propose to spouses. When you propose to your spice, you take a knee. You don't like put your tongue out or like look around dismissively. That's not the kind of things that were happening during the national anthem. Or like waiting in the locker room. None of that. These people came out and they just did a different gesture. And they were very clear about why. And yet there's all these other reasons why that aren't the reason why. This is a person that has anonymously reported on ways things are going in the White House that are both not national security risks, except for just making us look weak, which is unavoidable anyway. And also, it's stuff that the American people should know about who they've elected. If I own a Domino's pizza and I put cameras in there to watch my employees work or not, that seems really not unusual. That's the it's not going to reveal corporate espionage on Domino's policies to find out what my employees are doing. This is a public employee.
Yeah, totally.
So
a public servant.
Yes, servant.
They're all elected officials. They're all supposed to be public servants, but no. My whole problem with the dude coming out anonymously is he's like trying to be all on his high horse. Like, I'm part of the resistance, that's like keeping the really, really, really bad shit from like happening, and like, but I'm trying to work within the system. I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like it's like
to do that,
fake.
why would you need to like announce that?
Yeah, or do it anonymously. Like, you should come out and make a stand and be like, hey, listen, everyone, like, shit's fucked up. Like,
I think that's
I'm gonna
worth
say
losing your job for.
So other people have quit from their positions, long-standing positions they've had. They've worked for multiple administrations, and they're like, this is ridiculous.
You make a good point there that I hadn't thought of, that there is a pussy element
to
not being willing to sacrifice your job. But on the other hand, I feel like this isn't that innocent anymore, to where we've seen how Russia is with assassinating, and we've seen how ready our government is, just divisions of our government working separately from other divisions to at least make assassination attempts outside of the country. So it's not too big of a stretch for this to be the last straw before someone has a suicide.
Yeah, there's another layer.
I did finger quotes there, by the way.
Yeah. There's another layer to it also, that like, because now people are starting to talk about, is Trump mentally fit to be president, this and that, and like even Republicans are saying that. And I've heard a lot of people say that maybe this is them trying to get ahead of it, so that when Trump does implode, they can distance themselves and be like, oh, we had no idea. We just totally weren't paying attention the entire time,
You can love the guy. You can be pro-Trump all the way. And you can't deny that there needs to be a safety net for someone who's declining mentally. And that's an inevitability. We can't just be blind to that.
Yeah.
Just because you might like a person.
Yeah.
I liked John McCain a lot toward the end, but I had to admit that part of that might have been because of the declining mentally. He just might have been declining in a way that I liked.
Yeah, right.
I wish I could have just frozen time. Like, I wish I could have just touched his brain tumor and just made it just stay. Like, just hold on there, John. Kick it in there. Just don't get any worse. Hang with us because you've got just the right amount of brain tumor to where I love you now.
That's so fucking terrible.
But it's beautiful, right? If someone said that to me, I'd be like, thank you. You know, if I can't live a life with no brain tumor, if it can at least be one that's meaningful to people, and also I can live through it.
I'll be like John Travolta in Phenomena.
John Travolta, what?
In Phenomena.
Oh yeah.
You know that movie where he's in?
That was like a parallel for what we were experiencing in the last days.
Totally.
I think he was getting psychic powers. And we almost could have had a telekinetic John McCain. And I don't think this is disrespectful to like a honorable person's life, who was a Republican, by the way, and I managed to not hate him at the end. That says a lot.
Yeah.
Not that I'm just like hate Republicans all the time. It's just so easy right now, and I'm trying to overcome that.
Yeah.
You guys are witnessing my own mental struggles,
but I mean,
and the arguments I have within myself over these.
I mean, a lot of them are getting like indicted, so it's kind of, you know, but whatever.
Speaking of indicted, we've got, what is it, like 14 days in jail or whatever? 14 years for Papadopoulos.
Oh, is that what it was? I didn't hear the sentencing.
I'm sorry. The sentencing just happened, and I remember feeling like it was a low amount of time, but...
He wasn't just a coffee boy.
Yeah, that's the thing, is it should kind of be a low amount of time for someone that did, like, roll over and admit stuff. So I hope it wasn't 14 years. You know, you guys. And
just for everyone, he actually wasn't a coffee boy, but they tried to say they tried to say he was, or that like he never like Trump didn't actually meet him, and then like next day they're like, oh yeah, what about this picture where he's like sitting at the table with everyone else in your camp, like the campaign chairman and Jeff Sessions and all these other people. Just the coffee boy, never met him.
Yeah, just that coffee boy.
Right.
Dude, did you post some sick science news in the notes that I didn't notice?
Yeah, and I didn't. I was like scrambling in the last half hour of work. Don't fire me, boss. No, I just like grabbed an article real quick. No, something about like prime numbers. Because
plus, you were there like a good 20 minutes after. That's the thing.
Yeah, 10 minutes. Yeah.
So anyway,
I do some overtime with small, but.
Do you want me to read the quote you have in here, and then you can like go in on it more?
Yeah, because I only skimmed it, but I do want to dig in deeper, and I recommend anyone who's interested in that.
So this looks really heady, and I've heard from a few of you that are buddies of mine in person, buddies of both genders, by the way. I feel like buddy sounds like a dude, but like anyway, homies is definitely both genders of my homies.
Yeah.
So. Not that I'm doing this to avoid calling out specific people, even though they've been helpful. So, like, science news is good. Sorry to dwell on that. Anyway, this seems a little heady. Mala's going to dive in further, but the quote is, in summary, by focusing on the scattering characteristics of the primes in certain sufficiently large intervals, we have discovered that prime configurations are hyper-uniform of class 2 and characterized by an unexpected order across length scales. Now, what's the context of this?
So basically, it was this study on like prime numbers.
Oh, in pseudo-random numbers, right? Okay, actually, let me read this further because it'll. Okay, in particular, they provide the first example of an effectively limit periodic point process, a hallmark of which are dense Bragg peaks in the structure factor, Bragg with a capital B. The discovery of this hidden multi-scale order in the primes in contradistinction to their traditional treatment as pseudo-random numbers. Okay. Effective limit periodic systems represent a new class of many particle systems with pure point diffraction patterns that deserve future investigation in physics apart from their connection to the prime. So, if I'm going to guess about what this is about for sport, prime numbers seem to be scattered randomly. Mm-hmm. They were thought of as pseudo-randoms.
Yeah.
What numbers are prime? But a new pattern has emerged in them.
Yeah.
Whoa!
And the pattern is like similar to the patterns of particles and atoms, I guess. Somehow, in some weird way. I didn't get that.
There's a pattern to probably the new things we're discovering to the arrangement of like quarks and muons.
Yeah.
And the subatomic particles.
Yeah. So
And-
it's just interesting because I think everything's like that. Like I mean, there's just a pattern we don't see or understand.
Everything pseudo-random in math tends to relate to something later in nature. And this is one of those glorious examples where we can have, selfishly, I'm framing it selfishly, we get to have science news and math news at the same time. Because it's hard to get excited about math news, but man, do we get excited about math news! Because it's hard for there to be new math breakthroughs that relate to anybody or even easy to explain without an analog in the physical world.
Yeah.
And subatomic stuff is as new and mysterious in how particles are seemingly traveling through time, popping in and out of existence, seeming to travel in a fourth dimension that's allowing them to come in and out of our dimensions. And
Even more than multiple dimensions than that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's super interesting.
The math is there for all those dimensions, but we're only seeing evidence of R3 bumping into another one or a couple others. We can't tell.
Yeah, or they're like, it's weird. Some of the like theories like M theory and string theory and all that stuff like talk about like weird dimensions that are like tightly wrapped up and smaller than what we would consider like a dimension, like the ones we move through.
My favorite example of this that I really think everyone should at least watch a short YouTube video on, if you find any of this multi-dimensional stuff remotely fascinating, because it frames it in a really relatable way that even my dumbass latched right onto, is the concept that in a two-dimensional plane, if a sphere travels through it, say a sphere travels through a piece of paper, but you're only able to see the part of the sphere that's contacting the paper, you're going to see a dot that gets larger and larger, then gets smaller and smaller, and then disappears. But through all that, the sphere is still existing. You're just only able to perceive the part of it that intersects this flat plane.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you saw this in 3 dimensions, but the sphere was traveling through a fourth mathematically, the same thing would happen. According to the math, what you'd see is a sphere get bigger and then smaller. But it's not changing size. It's traveling through a dimension that we can't perceive.
Yeah. That's, I mean, read the book Flatland. It's a really short read. It's a classic. It's pretty funny. And it discusses that same thing. That's what it's all about. Like, the main character encounters a sphere traveling through his 2-dimensional world. And then the sphere takes him to the 3rd-dimensional world. And then the, spoiler alert, schmucks. So the book's like 100 years old. Get out of here. And then the sphere experiences the same thing when he takes the shape to his 3-dimensional place. And then a 4th-dimensional object and it like blows the sphere's mind. And he's like, that's impossible. Like, there's only 3 dimensions, yo. He's like, all right, check it, cuz. Or whatever he says. I don't know. I mean, it's not.
There's a lot of street lingo.
Yeah,
for 100 years ago.
Yeah, it's crazy. Dude was like, streets ahead.
Yeah. Yo. So any of that really will blow your mind, but also feel like you've at least got the first tool in what we're going to have to understand about multiple dimensions to move on as a species. And that doesn't mean that we're going to understand the mechanics of interacting with them any more than we understand the mechanics of the peripherals interacting inside a computer. As much as I've been one of those nerds up in that stuff, there's tons that I couldn't understand well enough to, like, I'm not going to make a computer.
Yeah,
it's one of those community
or something
things.
like, how does the internet work? Like, what is the structure of the internet, or something like that? It just
and it's
seems
like there's a lot of compound answers to that
and
question.
like abstract like ideas that go on where it's not. Yeah.
It works like this.
Math news, bitches.
You're on it right now.
Yeah.
Have fun. All right. We had a comment mentioning Pinche's Tacos.
Yeah.
Want to shout out back to them? I also want to re-mention that they're the ones with the blood orange margarita.
I thought that was the case,
and
but
the Gringo Taco. But that doesn't mean that Juan's Flaming Hot Fajita and Cantina isn't a great place to also mention RadioVegas.rocks. In fact, RadioVegas.rocks is the thing that, now, not rudely, you don't want to yell it in their face, but you want to mention as loudly and adamantly as you can to not only any sponsor, because they'll all at least smile at you, that you at least get that prize if you don't get something special. Like one of the Naked City pizzas for sure has a sick deal with that. So I'd mention it at all of them, just in case. But, you know, just strangers.
Yeah.
You can be that guy. They're not going to hate RadioVegas.rocks because you brought it up.
Yeah.
It's not like...
No one, you can't.
Yeah, if you're going to proselyte something or talk to other people about their eternal life, then start with RadioVegas.rocks. And on that note... Sorry to laugh out of context. It's just that Jay just sent me a picture. Nike doesn't care if you're burning shit you already paid for.
Yeah, exactly.
Just throw back to one of our previous points.
Yeah.
Hella love.
Yo, how about next the secret Eminem album that he dropped on everyone?
Oh God, thank you. That was one of the things I had some fun stuff to say about.
So I get Eminem just like drops an album out of nowhere that no one knew. I mean, not no one, but the public didn't know he was planning on releasing.
Which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a cool idea. Yeah, and I guess it spawned a lot of like, it was kind of just a diss on the whole state of the rap game these days, and so spawned a lot of like diss tracks back, most notably by homie Machine Gun Kelly, which should all make us ask the question, who the fuck is Machine Gun Kelly? And I mean, all right, just you know, I haven't listened to a lot of rap, but I've checked out some Machine Gun Kelly stuff back in the day. It's kind of whack.
Yeah, I like vaguely remember him back in the day. Like,
yeah, I've seen like some freestyle stuff of his and was not impressed. I mean, just gonna say it.
Well, honestly, I'm not that impressed by freestyle. It's like it's not that I don't respect that art and the related arts of especially the rap portion of hip hop.
Yeah.
It's just that I'm so much more into instrumental hip hop.
Yeah.
And like the whole the era, the producers like Jay Dilla and Dr. Dre too, and what they did culturally for music on an instrumental standpoint, that I feel like really impatient with the vocal stylings that are associated with that. So like it's only when it's really good, and maybe it's a shallow taste in it too because of a lack of going deep. Besides some stuff like Anticon and Dose One and stuff, I've gone deep in a couple, but those were like comfort zone deeps.
Yeah.
So my point is, I really like it when people write their flows and then do something they wrote, because even Eminem was kind of backpedaling on some of his points and lamenting that he was so harsh about it and how divisive that was, which divisive is my word of the day to like learn how to say right each time. So yeah, that was kind of a mark of maturity I found.
Yeah,
to be like, look, I didn't want to isolate a bunch of people, or you know, alienate people.
Yeah, totally.
By drawing a line in the sand like that.
Yeah, and I mean, you know.
I mean, I did at the time, but I kind of regret it.
I just think it's funny. It's like, Machine Gun Kelly?
Like, that's who you're starting a diss thing with? Are you just like...
But I think like Machine Gun Kelly like wrote a diss track back, and that's why it was like, what?
Dude,
what?
My theory, it's an inside move. Like, you diss track someone you want to help their stardom.
Yeah.
So Machine Gun Kelly and him like sat down for coffee and were like, "Yo, what can you do to help me?"
Yeah, right. He's like,
"Well, I don't like you that much, but I could still help you by talking shit on you, and then we both win."
Right.
Ta-da! I honestly thought it was gonna be John Kelly. Like, oh, he's like, "No, man, I wasn't." All the orange hair motherfucker, I don't hate him anymore. It's this John Kelly.
Right.
Who was it that we had a guest that was talking about how that's like the real dude running it? It said that in an interview.
Oh, that was
Was that BG?
No, that was is it
Recycled
Isaac?
Propaganda. Isaac.
Yeah.
Good episodes, by the way, either of them.
Yeah.
To constantly plug ourselves through this whole episode.
Yeah.
But I mean, everyone else is doing it.
Yeah.
So deal with our plug. If you don't like us plugging ourselves so much, like,
you do it for us.
Yeah, come on, do your job as a listener.
Oh man.
Yeah.
No. Just do it.
So yeah, John Kelly running everything in the White House. That's the real Machine Gun Kelly, if you ask me.
Rap game strong.
Yeah. Conspiracy game strong. Illuminati game strong. So okay, so what are some of your other thoughts on this surprise Eminem drop?
I almost feel like it's just like a fuck it. Whereas I'm bored. Just gonna drop an album. I've been writing some shit.
I can really appreciate that.
I'm just gonna drop an album, man.
Didn't it have Dre production too?
I don't know. I haven't had a chance to really like dig deep into it.
Man, I'm sorry we're kind of 60% reporting this one, but the idea is like this is going on in the world. You can go deep and fill in the gaps if you really care. Otherwise, we didn't dwell on it too long for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought there was some Dre production in there, which if I'm right about that and didn't just hallucinate that or just like want that, then that's pretty cool that that level was kept secret.
Yeah, it could have been just like a buddy thing, and I was like, "Yo, Dre, you want to come lay down a few tracks with me?
Man,
let's get the old crew back together."
Kanye's got to be pitching a fit though, because like his last controversy wave is kind of petered out now, and it didn't go right to an album. I thought he was going to drop an album right on the tail end of that.
Right.
Unless he did, and I wasn't paying attention that badly.
Yeah.
No, how would I miss that? There's no new Kanye in the wake of the weird slavery comments.
Didn't he? He dropped something with, I want to say like Lupe Fiasco. I could be getting that wrong.
You know what? I think he dropped a single, and I just wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, I did see a new video.
I'm only saying things like this to anger people enough to comment about it, which you can do on the pre-recorded video. I mean that by after this is live, you can still come talk shit on the comments.
Yeah,
I do check and like play with you on there. Speaking of such, I just saw a comment in the YouTube chat that just said, "I love his little hands." I love his little hands. See, that's so fun to bump into your community interaction and to see that. Because also right after that is, "Oh, I love that he might smell like pee." And I was still like, whoa, who is this? I hope it's not me having little hands and smelling like pee. That's like my new, "Oh, man, you got to check out their podcast. Dude's got little hands and smells like pee. I know it." I thought that was going to be like our new thing to deal with controversially. But no, this is going to do, he said what? Again, our buddy on there just said Trump is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, if he's awesome for little hands and smelling like pee, you like him for the right reasons.
Yeah, totally.
Man, and like a part of me is like, dude, why are you being such a Trump hater? I don't want you to be that side picking. But man, I'm way past offended at this point. I don't usually get that deeply offended by political people's choices and what they represent and stuff. It's usually just a faux offense so I can have a fun argument and get an opinion and I go on with my day. But to be such a shit stirrer and to make people have less unity with one another.
Yeah.
It's just a great way to get an entourage and a following, but it's Hitler method.
Yeah.
It's
that
way. It's the Mussolini
really
style of doing it. It's not how people that are respected by history do it. And it's so short-sighted.
I just hate that he's a fucking idiot.
You're like, at least be evil smarter about it.
Yeah. And like, trust me, like when he got elected, you know, like I voted and I decided just not to vote for either of them. Because, you know, I figured Nevada's probably going to go to Hillary anyway. It's gone Democrat the last couple presidential elections.
I voted weed for president, and I got my vote.
Right. But, and I was totally I'm like, you know what? I hope he proves everyone wrong and does a great fucking job.
Yeah, I decided to take it optimistically. I was like, okay, great. We're shaking the snow globe.
But I mean, let's be real. But anyway, I don't want to.
You can't drain the swamp if you're like the swamp.
Yeah.
That everything drains into. All rivers lead to this swamp.
We drained the swamp and filled it with an even bigger swamp.
In this swamp, we have placed another swamp.
Right. Anyway, all right. Fucking.
How can you prove any swamp was even drained? All right, this is metaphors. Sorry. And oh, hold on. Here we go. This is play that. That's the sound. Switching.
The sound that you love.
After nabbing billions of tax breaks ATS promised job growth magically evaporates.
Yeah, who would have saw that coming?
Yeah. You know, just a side note before we dig into this one, kudos to Apple for saying, when we get these tax breaks, we're not going to lower the price of products or pay employees more. We're going to pay back some of our investors and stockholders that have been kind of waiting.
Yeah, and we're going to buy back our stocks, yeah.
Some people jumped on and were like, oh, proof you're evil. But wait a minute. Those stockholders are people too, and they invested in a company that makes shaky decisions. Apple is not a company free of controversy.
Yeah.
Like every other year, Apple makes a decision that people say is the end of Apple.
Yeah.
So kudos to these people to get something back for hanging with a company largely philosophically. A lot of Apple's money they've made is from communities they've supported, both of artists and people that have agreed with them philosophically, and people that do professional content creation that need the stability of that platform that can't be done at that level of stability with competing hardware, and or competing software, and then you're forced to be on that hardware to use that software. So it's like, it is what it is, but that didn't stop a bunch of other companies from saying that they would use these tax breaks in ways that they were totally lying about.
Yeah, and there were a lot that seemed like PR moves, but
AT&T specifically.
If you have like an issue with Apple saying that they're just gonna, buy back stocks and pay their shareholders and all this, then you don't just have an issue with Apple. You have an issue with capitalism.
Yeah, you have an issue with how companies like Apple get to become companies like Apple at all.
And that's what they do. That's all they care about. It's not like some people in the company want to deliver great products to people, but ultimately it's just a machine to make as much money as possible for the people who run it.
People who actually have any degree of experience running a company at that level or being part of running one have not, in what I've seen, expressed that that's a bad idea or even weird.
Yeah, no, totally.
But they have all said across the board unilaterally that it's weird to expect a corporation to increase wages based on a tax break, because that's not usually done. They promise it, but no one follows up to see how much they don't.
Well,
except now AT&T didn't.
Well, no, it's the politicians who push for the tax break who say that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
By virtue of the tax break.
You're right. A lot of companies don't even
get involved
their name admitting that would be the case.
And and think about what they're saying. They're saying the people that already have all the money, if we give them even more money, then they'll just hire you. Corporate profits have been at record highs for the last, 8 years or something, and it just keeps increasing.
The bottom line has never affected hiring. Needing more human resources has affected hiring. When you don't have enough machines to build the products for which there's demand, you buy more machines, and that's exactly how the people are thought of. Mm-hmm. When there's not enough hands to assemble the parts of the product machines can't do, then you hire more hands, and that's all the people are.
Which that's kind of weird, because that's the exact opposite of what all these tax breaks say they're going to accomplish. Mm-hmm. It's so there's supply side economics and demand side, where if you give the middle class more money, mm-hmm. they spend it because they need to buy things. If you give rich people more money, it just gets reinvested, or they buy property or yachts. That's a common trope or whatever.
For sure.
But it's not like they're contributing greatly to the direct economy, or would cause a company to need to hire more people because they're selling more things, because rich people aren't buying Nikes.
Yeah. I don't know if any of y'all remember Obama's economic stimulus. What's epidural stimulus? Obama's economic stimulus of the beginning of his mm-hmm. term. Everyone got what, $100, $170?
Yeah. And I think there was one of those during Bush where everyone got $300. W.
Yeah, that's right. I don't think I was as involved in the economy during the Bush one. I don't know.
No, because I was still pretty young. I think because we'd still be in high school in his first term. Yeah.
But I forgot about that. Why didn't that get brought up more when Obama's was so controversial? But I just remember, with the knowing what we spend on so many aspects of government, mm-hmm. and what a drop in the pan $170, $100 is to all the qualifying individuals, which is most people. I know I qualified.
Yeah.
And like most people, lower middle class, I immediately spent it on not like bills and shit, but like fun money.
Yeah.
So my bills were covered enough, even though I was living month to month.
Yeah, right.
I went and threw it at the economy, and for years after that, that's what I heard reported was what happened from that. It was at least a success on the minimum that it could be successful. It was not a failure. Yeah. Any way that you could determine that to be a failure, the numbers were visible in the economy.
Yeah.
At best, at most critical of it, you could claim that the economy changed that much, regardless of that thing that happened at the exact same time.
Yeah.
That it's correlation to something else that's imaginary. But on the other hand, you go over from that demand side economics to supply side economics, and try these supply side economic policies like this tax breaks, and there's no historical evidence of that having worked. Ever. Let alone evidence of it working within the last decade.
No, it actually...
And then, of course, again, it's already obvious that it didn't by, like, legit what companies did with it, for sure. It's not just like we're ethereally looking at data and saying, hey, it kind of didn't work or whatever. It was admitted by the people that would be affected by it that it wouldn't do that, and lo and behold, it also didn't, even by the ones that said otherwise.
Yeah,
AT&T.
and like the oh, what the hell? The
AT&T, we say, was gonna give it to these people. They didn't. It was a lie all along.
Yeah, and what's
obviously in
and
their
what's
numbers.
funny is like before the tax bill was passed, like some companies all of a sudden came out and they're like, "Oh, we're giving people bonuses. Like all our employees are getting $1,000 bonus." I think it was AT&T said they're but like those bonuses were already scheduled, so they tried to make it. It was like a PR move to like support the tax break.
Yeah.
Because, of course,
everyone's getting bonuses that they were getting anyway.
Yeah,
and it's
right.
all corporate people anyway, not the fucking...
Right. No, it was like employees were getting like $1,000 bonuses or something, but it wasn't like all employees across the board.
Yeah, and that's great as a publicity thing that looks great in one news article. Like, oh, AT&T, you look so good on this. Meanwhile, their promised job growth magically evaporates.
Yeah.
Which I love the terminology in this article about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if companies aren't like magically hiring more people when they're already making like hand over fist, like giving them more money, they aren't just gonna be like, oh, okay, you gave us enough money, we're gonna hire people now. We're satisfied with that. No, like companies are not satisfied with any amount of money. Infinite growth. It's sustainable.
Let's experiment with our calibration based on a YouTube comment that someone commented, show is great, but enough Trump talk, more funny stuff. But like on the other hand, I know if we there's a range here.
Yeah.
I plan to play around in a range at my whim to a certain extent, but calibrate that range to you all, to where like I know people have fun diving into what we have fun talking about, because like the fun communicates anyway.
Yeah.
But I also know that some of the times when we've gone like pure wacky,
yeah,
that it's like listening back for me, it was like too wacky. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't abandon some wackiness.
Yeah, I agree.
And on that note, and I don't want to go too far from this, if there's anything else left you want to say on that. Because it wasn't Trump talk anyway.
No.
But, we probably should invent another product.
Yeah?
Because, I mean, I brought up some new details in the Olive Garden Shave Club, which, I mean, this is funny to me. When we go funny on this podcast, and I think it's really funny, it's not the wacky times when I accidentally get beer everywhere. Those are valuable and all. But I prefer the times when I get to be really serious about something I really think should exist, even though it's preposterous.
Yeah.
I don't care. There are way more preposterous things that exist that do great. For example, the fryless. Did any of you guys get a fryless?
No.
Okay. If you went to McDonald's a couple months ago for only like a day, this was like a 1-day promotion thing.
All right.
Excuse me. Had to cover up a burp there by screaming instead. So the McDonald's would give you free with a meal only during this 1 day, the fryless, which is this elaborately like spot UV gloss lettered, what are that called when you stamp the really well packaged, you know, the boxes where the letters are bumpy, die cut.
Mm-hmm.
So this like die stamped, elaborately well marketed, like it felt like buying Beats headphones but it came with it. Just gorgeous box.
Yeah.
The box was also perforated, so you could fold it into a cell phone stand. But best of all, inside the box was the Fryless. What the Fryless is a French fry made out of some kind of semiconductive rubber.
Yeah.
That's yellow and looks like a French fry, but it's contoured to shape your hand like a good French fry should. And you can use it as a stylus on your phone. There's like a part of it that's a flat enough square.
Oh my god.
Because, you know, you can't have a tipped stylus with normal Android and iPhone devices because they there's a grid of antennas under the screen. And those antennas detect your finger interfering with radio frequencies. It's capacitance, basically, like your finger's ability to store and release electrons, but not conduct. It's not a conductive sensor, but conductive things let electrons travel through it. Man, electronics majors, if you're screaming at me, hook it up in the comments, but that's close enough. So the rubber thing conducts, but it has to be a large enough surface.
Yeah.
Unless the antenna wires inside the screen that you can't see are closer together, like on, say, the iPad Pro or a Wacom tablet. So there's your tech data. So the Fryless, so preposterous, but it existed. There's even like a person, like you open up the box, and there's this picture of a guy named Kirby Jenner, which has to be a made-up imaginary person because he was dressed like big mustache and like one of those suits that was only cool for like a short period of the 70s. It's just like full on like the most boss 70s, like late 70s, right at that cusp where it was like that V-neck. I think it was like a one
huge lapels.
Yeah,
on the shirts.
The pants and the top are the same article of clothing.
Yeah.
But it's somehow formal. Just owning it. Kirby Jenner. Also, if your name is Kirby Jenner, you are a fictional character to try to be as cool as possible. So it was really clever marketing because it was like, how can we over-market this so that people that get that concept will laugh at it? Like me. Like, this is so over the top. This Kirby Jenner person holding this French fry stylus. Like, it's like the epitome of modern technology. Beautiful. Love it.
But can you eat it?
Oh, clearly.
Yeah, all right, I'm in.
I mean, I had to take a day off work and go to the hospital, but you can definitely eat it.
I want to know how much they're going for on eBay. I'm always interested about that, like limited release shit like that.
Never sell mine. I could never even give it away. I use it, dude. I use it when I need a stylus. I go for my Fryless. When there's like stuff to tap on my phone that's like too small.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's Fryless time.
Scared. Why does this guy have a French fry in his pocket all the time?
Why is he poking at his phone with a French fry?
Rubbing that greasy French fry all over his phone.
Hey, I'm happy to be representing anything greasy.
It's true.
It's on brand.
On brand.
Yeah, the Fryless is on brand, y'all.
Right. I love it. I was no, like when you were talking about the Olive Garden Shave Club, I'm like, you know, it's great that there's a subscription service and everything, right? But what if like they set up like a little kind of barbershop thing inside so you could like get a fresh shave before you eat?
Brilliant. I mean, if we're helping people shave at home, if we're helping people shave their pets, why not in our brick and mortar location that we're paying good rent to support anyway for that declining food market? I mean, who's eating anymore? Eating is out. America's fat. Olive Garden's over unless we start shaving each other. Come to Olive Garden for the fucking shave situation.
And then, you know, they don't waste as much Alfredo sauce because any like just leftover Alfredo sauce they take directly from the tables.
Oh, God.
You know, you can get that fresh Alfredo shave. You know,
nothing beats an Alfredo shave.
I mean, if you guys haven't done it, I mean,
you got
to.
Nothing beats an Alfredo shave.
It beats marinara any day of the week.
Ew, dude. If you're with one of those competing stores, like if you're over with the Applebee's Shave Club having that marinara shave, you're gross.
Tequila lime
think
chicken
you smell
shave.
Gross. You could smell like Alfredo. Meanwhile, you're smelling like marinara.
Oh.
Like some miscreant.
Yo, your shit is all wrong.
God, ooh.
Need to get your priorities straight.
What is your economic situation if you smell like you rub marinara all over your face? That's disgusting. You should be rubbing Alfredo all over your face for its smooth, clean shave.
Yeah.
Okay, the same person that wanted us to like, because obviously I listen back and I feel like we might hit the Trump button a little too much. It's self-indulgent. He's one of those characters that like he's so fun to talk about as a content creator that I've seen this in other content creators' work that like, oh golly, it's like a disease to be self-indulgent with this. But that same person with that valuable comment said in all caps, yes, Olive Garden stuff. Fellow listeners, you have a friend and guardian helping guide us to our all mutual benefit by reminding you and I of the value of getting behind a brand like Olive Garden, a strong brand, and helping them pivot entirely to help all of our grooming situation. None of us have...
and this is a brand I would say that raised our generation.
Yeah.
You know?
They raised our generation, and now they're looking at a generation with too much hair.
It's true. Y'all are some hairy fucking people, man.
So we need to step aside from just making America fat still with breadsticks and, other things like soup that don't make you fat. But it's time for breadsticks for peace instead of breadsticks for war.
It's true.
And it's a war on obesity. And if we want peace on obesity, then we need to shave. Because the hair makes you look fat. Hang in there with me. You want to trim down. Dude, bald people look trim. Bald men look svelte. Bald women are beautiful.
It's true.
Take your wigs off and shave with us, ladies.
It's true.
We should be shaving each other. Isn't that something that we did as primates, except like picking bugs out of each other? The natural conclusion, I mean, what could bond you deeper with your loved one than shaving them? I know this is a fetish.
We're trying to, we got to like start somewhere if we're trying to turn society around, but the handshake is just old.
Yeah.
Tired of the handshake. We should all carry around our breadstick razor, and when you greet someone, you just give them a little shave on the arm.
Yeah, just
to let them know
a
you
patch.
care. They're like, hey, I care about your body hair,
You're going to have people that shave a bunch of squares out of their arm to look like they got a lot of friends greeting them all the time. And politicians just have slashes of hair missing all over.
Oh, man. Then, like, everyone's going to know I don't have any friends. All right, bad idea. Everyone, terrible idea. I don't know who came up with that idea.
It's more of a courtship
Flushing
ritual.
it. Yeah, there you go.
Before you let a man into your chonies, make sure he can prove to you that he's got a steady hand and the cool control of a gentle lover. Because if he can shave you delicately, he can impregnate you delicately. And in the end, isn't that what it's all about? Is just that getting everybody pregnant? Totally. Just kidding. Don't make a baby with it. Unless you're trying to, and then, like, man, good luck.
We can't stop you. Yeah, good luck. We can't stop you, but don't.
You're raising a child in the best time in the history for it to live a long time and see a lot of crazy things. And then eventually, that child can launch all of our old bodies into space instead of retirement homes because Social Security will be long gone.
Robot bodies.
I'm so happy to get positive feedback in the chat for the Olive Garden stuff because I'm so passionate about it. And people have talked to me in person about it, but I want written evidence.
Right.
I want to talk to Olive Garden about this idea.
And just barge into the CEO.
But it's not going to work without a community. Really dumb but beautiful, amazing ideas like this that should be products don't happen without a community getting together and communicating with these faceless corporations that really have hearts down in there. There's someone that really loves Olive Garden, that's working for Olive Garden, that wants to see it succeed and understands that its only hope for success is shaving people, shaving the world. Shave time, shave money, Olive Garden.
I love it.
Any parting words? We did a lot of media recommendations earlier in the episode. We kind of switched the order of the segments around a little bit, but any last minute of these?
Parting words. No.
Well, wait. We've got the actual notes. And
No, we don't.
But wait, there's actual notes. What's going to be not too deep of a hole? Dude, Mallow brought the fire news today. I think your news was better than my news today if we're competing, which we should, because everyone should compete at everything all the time, twice.
Yeah. Competition. Everything must be a contest.
Twitter for twerkers. So let me go where I'm going. Twitter finally went full ban on Alex Jones.
Them damn globalists, man.
But some, and I'm not saying this is me, but it's fun to say things like this.
Mm-hmm.
Some wonder if there might have been some like Alex Jones sympathizer, InfoWars crony up in the Twitter people, because the person in charge of Twitter that said that they didn't fully ban InfoWars because they hadn't broken their rules yet.
Mm-hmm.
They just were suspended temporarily. Another person came in, reported on ways in which they had actually definitely broken Twitter's rules.
Yeah, multiple
times. Then Twitter
times.
fully banned them. And then that person, this gets wacky.
All right.
That person then got accosted by Alex Jones, who then like yelled at them in person and got in their face and stuff. And yeah, Alex Jones has been like in person wily, like poking at. Okay, hold on. Just one. What's?
Yeah, no.
Electric, like poking someone. Dude, what's that guy he always hates? Cruz.
Everyone.
Yeah, the Cruz. Ted Cruz, I think it was, or a guy I get mixed up with Ted Cruz all the time. Like he's answering another question from another reporter.
Yeah.
And Alex Jones is behind the side of him, tapping on his shoulder, trying to get like obnoxious kid attention with him.
Totally. Alex Jones does that. Oh yeah, my brother always tells me the story of like there's this video on YouTube where it shows like Alex Jones antagonizing, I think it's the dude from like the Young Turks.
Oh, that poor guy.
Cenk Olger, I think is the guy's name.
Yeah.
And but anyway, they got in like a little tiff or whatever, and I guess part of the clip shows this dude like chasing Alex Jones because he got him like really pissed off, and then like the caption of the video is like like angry news host like accosts just water filter salesman.
God.
Something like that. I don't know. It's pretty silly.
Jones shouted at Darcy for more than 10 minutes, accusing him of being in favor of censorship and insulting his appearance, comparing him to a rat, and told Darcy he was evil looking. Jones was live on Twitter's Periscope service the whole time. Don't harass people on Oh, sorry, Mike's too close. Don't harass people on Periscope. Why not just not harass people? I mean, if we can, as a challenge, try to at least not hate people, which is hard, because, you know, I gotta be honest when I can't avoid feeling hate for some people.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to at least present media from a standpoint of, like, rather than hate this person, let's try to understand how specifically they're stupid. Or take it from
Much
there.
better place to come from.
Boom, and that's what I think we should leave off as, like, our message for you of, like, peace and love, yet constant, never-ending criticism. From us, but also to us, and we even like to wallow in our own criticism of us with you, and invite it, and, you know, some of your criticism is going to make me think you're a jerk. But that's part of the game we're trying to play, because you don't have a community without that.
That's true.
And who knows if I even understand what a community really is. Let's find out together. The end. I keep trying to say something like right as it ends. Here's this. Okay, now the video stream time. Bye, YouTube. Oh, I love the suggestion that we could shave each other with olive oil, which actually sounds sexier than Alfredo. But, you know, both, man. Why discriminate? If you want to get intimate with olive oil...
Isn't there like olive oil? There's got to be a little olive oil in Alfredo.
There's got to be a little of olive oil in most sexual lubricants.
Probably.
I mean, olive oil seems great for that. Grapeseed oil is what I've heard is the best.
Coconut oil.
Ah. Coconut oil or grapeseed oil on your Ghiblies? You guys, comment below. Vote. Because your vote could be part of the product lineup for Olive Garden Shave Club. Because I really think if we get together on this, you guys, I'm not going to stop wanting an Olive Garden Shave Club. So if you can get behind me, you're getting behind someone that is going to follow through on this. Like, I will make them marketing materials. They're going to have like a latchkey, like a turnkey system presented to them.
Right? All you guys got to do is just sign it.
Sign at the bottom line, and then we got a shave club. Sign and shave, you guys. It's as easy as sign and shave.